Excel Tutorial 5, pages 293 through 297. Okay, on the bottom of page 292, read about inserting subtotals and then continue up through the top of page 293. To sort the cash receipts and convert the table to a range, click the Transaction Date Filter button. Okay, right there. And then click Sort Oldest to Newest. Oldest to Newest. The January data table is sorted in ascending order by the transaction date field. This ensures one subtotal is created for each date. Okay? And when anything's in yellow, you want to be very careful to read it and the corresponding little yellow box that's next to it. Step number 2. On the Table Tools Design tab, in the Tools group, click the Convert to Range button. A dialog box opens asking if you want to convert the table to a normal range. Click the Yes button. The Excel table is converted to a range and the Home tab is selected on the ribbon. You can tell the table data is now a normal range because the filter buttons, the Table Tools Design tab, and the slicer disappear. Okay, they're all gone. You can see I have no filters up here. When we click in it, there's no contextual tab that pops up, and our slicer is indeed gone. All right, now we're going to calculate the subtotals. To calculate the cash receipts amount subtotals for each date, on the ribbon, click the Data tab. In the Outline group, click the Subtotal button. The Subtotal dialog box opens. See Figure 5-28 on page 294. Okay. Here's our subtotal dialog box. Move it to wherever it's convenient for you. If necessary, click the At Each Change In arrow and then click Transaction Date. At each change in, here's my transaction date. If yours doesn't say transaction date, hit the down pointing arrow and select transaction date. This is the column you want Excel to use to determine where to insert the subtotals. It is the column you sorted. A subtotal will be calculated at every change in the transaction date value. Step number 4. If necessary, click the Use Function arrow, Use Function, and then click Sum. If yours doesn't say Sum, hit the down pointing arrow and select Sum. The Use Function list provides several options for subtotaling data, including counts, averages, min, max, and products. Step 5. In the Add Subtotal to box, okay, Add Subtotal to, make sure only the Amount checkbox is checked. Okay, so we have no checkboxes anyplace, no check marks except for on our Amount checkbox. This specifies the Amount field as the field to be subtotaled. If the data already included subtotals, you would check the Replace Current Subtotals checkbox to replace the existing subtotals, or uncheck the option to display the new subtotals on separate rows above the existing subtotals. Because the data has no subtotals, it makes no difference whether you select this option. Step number 6. Make sure the Summary Below Data checkbox is checked. Summary Below Data is indeed checked right there. This option places the subtotals below each group of data instead of above the first entry in each group, and places the grand total at the end of the data instead of at the top of the column just below the row of column headings. Step number 7. Click the OK button. Excel inserts rows below each transaction date group and displays the subtotals for the amount of each transaction date in the Amount column. A series of outline buttons appear to the left of the worksheet so you can display or hide the detail rows within each subtotal. Okay, so as you can see, here is 1/1/2016, and it says 1/1/2016, and there is the subtotal right there. Okay, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, which is a long ways down, you can see right there we have the grand total. Okay? So, moving on to page 295. Okay, read about using the subtotal outline view 295, to use the outline buttons to hide records. Click the level 2 outline button. Okay, our outline buttons are over here. We have 3 of them. Okay, it says click the level 2 button. Click it and watch what happens. Scroll to view the daily subtotals and grand total. The individual cash receipt records are hidden. Only the subtotals for each transaction date and the grand total are displayed. See figure 5-30 on page 296. All right, click the Show Detail button to the left of 131, 2016. So we're going to come down here to 131. See that button right there? That little plus sign? Click it. That's the Show Details button, and I clicked my wrong one. There we go. No, I clicked the right one. Okay, so you saw what happened to expand and collapse it. When I thought I had hit the wrong one, I reached up and hit this one, but that's 130. I just collapsed it because they wanted 131. Okay? Click the level 1 outline button. Scroll up. Okay. The individual cash receipt records and the subtotals for each transaction date are hidden. Only the grand total remains visible. Click the level 3 outline button and then scroll up. All the records along with the subtotals and the grand total are visible. Okay, so level 3, show me everything. Level 2, just the subtotals. Level 1, only the grand total. Okay? Click back on level 3 and have everything displayed. To remove the subtotals from the cash receipts data, number 1, on the Data tab in the Outline group, click the Subtotal button. Okay, on the Data tab, which is where we are right here, in the Outline group, click that Subtotal button. Step number 2, in the Subtotal dialog box, click the Remove All button. Okay, in our Subtotal dialog box, see right there where it says Remove All? Hit it. The subtotals are removed from the data and only the records appear in the worksheet. You'll reset the cash receipts data as an Excel table. Make sure the active cell is a cell within the normal range of data. So basically you can click on any cell in here, it doesn't matter which one. On the ribbon, click the Insert tab. In the Tables group, click the Table button. Okay, now you know what it's going to do. You should recognize this by now. The selection box of dancing ants go all the way around our entire table. You need to make sure it does say my table has headers because we have this header row, and then you click OK. On the Table Tools Design tab, right there, in the Properties group, right there, we're going to rename our table again, just like before, as January Data. Okay? Make sure you don't have any spaces. And when you get finished typing in January Data, press your Enter key. Okay, go ahead and hit save, and you're ready to move on to our next video.